Today we have with us an Audi Q2, the newest addition to the Audi family. And in this video, like in any other garage reviews video, we're going to give you a very detailed review of this car. So let's get started. The Q2 is available in 5 variants. Number 1 is Standard, followed by Premium, then come Premium Plus 1 and Premium Plus 2, and last but not the least, the top variant of this car, which will be the Audi Q2 technology. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Premium Plus 2, where we'll be talking about the styling, followed by the features of this car, then the practicality, which means where the storage cubbies are in this car and how big they are, then the comfort of this car, which I think will be one of the most important stuff, then talking about the driving experience, and last but not the least, we're also going to be talking about the price of this car. So stick with us till the end of this video. Also, a very special thanks to Audi Chandigarh for lending me this Audi Q2 for a review. They have an amazing inventory of all the Audi cars and also pre-owned cars. So if you want to know anything about any Audi car, definitely hit them up using the links in the description below. And with that said, now let's finally start the review of this car. So talking about the styling of the Audi Q2, we'll start with the front end, move to the side, and in the last we talked about the rear in this car. But in the front end, if we talk about this, well, we can see that we have a lot of black styling cues with this white car. That's because this car has something called the extended black styling package. And in my personal opinion, I find it to be very nice, I would say, because it gives a kind of a contrast to this car, you know, this black and white. And as we all know, that black and white is a phenomenal color combination. But if we talk about some other styling cues, starting with the headlamps, we get to see an LED projector headlamp setup. So that's very nice in terms of lighting. It's pretty safe in terms of night driving. So that's very nice. If we talk about the DRLs, well, the DRLs of this car are very uniquely designed, I would say. But if you look very closely, I don't know if you find it similar as well, but in my personal opinion, I find these headlamp DRLs to be inspired from any Volvo car. If you look at the XC90 or any other Volvo car, you'd find a similar type of DRL design. I don't know if you find it the similarity as well, but in my personal opinion, I do. If we talk about the grille, well, in this corner over here, we get a Quattro badge telling us that we have a 4-wheel drive system in this car. So that's very nice. We have an all black grille. Although I would have found it a little better or a little bit appealing, I would say, if we had got some chrome inserts within this grille as well. The only chrome thing that we find is the Audi 4 rings, so that is very normal and something that is expected from an Audi car. But other than that, I would find this car to be a very simple family car, and that is something nice in my opinion. So coming to the side profile of the Audi Q2, like I said in the front styling as well, that the Audi Q2 has been designed like any other simple family car, and the side profile actually supports my statement. So the first thing that you would notice in the side profile is the piano black finished ORVMs of this car. Well, that is also a part of the extended black styling package, like I told you in the front side. Other than that, if we talk about the front fender in this car, we have the S-line badging telling us which trim this car is. And talking about the alloy wheels in this car, we get 17-inch alloy wheels with a 5 V-spoke design. So they have a pretty intricate design and they actually look good on the car while the car is driving on the road. But by far one of the best styling cues of the side profile of this car is of the floating roof design. As you can see, we have a white styling over here, we have white panels over here, but this panel over here is black. And if you look at it like this, it actually feels like that the car has a floating roof design, and this in my opinion looks very nice, and it's something that not a lot of people notice, but once they do, you can't really miss it when you see an Audi Q2 on the road. Now last but not the least, coming to the rear side of the Audi Q2, well, first of all, these tail lamps. I know, I just find them cute. They are so nice, but one of the things that I like about these tail lamps, and that is by far the best thing, is of sequential turn indicators, or how Audi calls it, dynamic turn indicators. So as you can see, whenever I unlock the car, the turn indicators in this car go in a sequence that is from inside to outside, so it looks very, very nice. But other than the tail lamps, we have badging, that is obviously the Audi 4 rings in the center. We have the Q2 badging over here, and on the other side we have 40 TFSI telling us the technology of the engine, and 40 is like I told you in other Audi reviews that I've done as well on this channel. This number, it's like kind of a rating system from Audi. The higher the number, the faster the 0 to 60 speed of that car is. Like if we talk about the Audi A8 or the Q8, we have 55. That is the rating of that car from Audi. And as I said, the higher the number, it's smaller the time it is for 0 to 100 of this car. But if you want to find out the 0 to 100 speed of this car, definitely wait until the driving experience of this car is done. And last but not the least, once again we have the Quattro badge over on that side as well, telling us once again that this is a 4-wheel drive car. Now starting with the features of the Audi Q2, I am going to start with one of the most basic but one of the most useful features, at least for me, and that is opening and closing of all 4 windows from just the key fob. I am that kind of a person that always forgets to close the window of your car while you exit the car, and this feature of just pressing and holding the lock button and closing that window is just a really nice feature for me. The other benefit of it, like for example, if I want to open the windows of this car, it's a very hot day and you want to let the car cool down, all you need to do is just press and hold the unlock button of this car and the window will automatically roll down a little bit. But you have to press and hold it if you want to let it down all the way. Like I said, just press and hold it and the window will go down all the way. Similarly, if you want to close it, just press and hold the lock button and the car will automatically close up all 4 windows. It's very basic but very useful. Now moving inside the car, I actually want to talk about 2 features which are very nice, and that is of the 2 displays. That is this one and this one. To turn off this display, we have a folding key and not a keyless entry one, so that's pretty weird. But anyways, let's just put this car into accessory power, and as you can see, when the display starts up, you have this display right here, which is Audi's virtual cockpit, one of the industry leading virtual displays. But I have done a very detailed review of this very infotainment display, that is Audi's virtual cockpits, that you get in newer generation Audis. So if you want to see a detailed review of this virtual cockpit, I have linked down that video in the description down below, or an information card on your displays right now. But I will talk about a few differences in this display and the video that I made earlier, and that is of the presence of borders. As you can see, we have a small little button over here, and while you fiddle around in this display, you also get a small little border over here in the similar fashion that you get over there. But now what that is that you can actually press this button. As you can see, now the available menu is of this button right here. So if I press this one, as you can see, it gives me an additional menu. Now this feature of hidden menus is actually unique to the Audi Q2. That's why you get 2 buttons. So if you have this menu like this one, press this button. If you have another menu on this side, press this button. So definitely do check out these 2 options if you are fiddling around with the Audi Q2 virtual cockpit. Now the second display in this car is of the Audi MMI system, that is the infotainment display. But this infotainment display is the exact same display that we have gotten in the Audi A3 as well, the Audi Q3 and all the other previous generation Audis. So if you want a detailed review of this display right here, definitely check out my Audi Q3 video that I've done. I will link that in the description down below, or information card on your display right now. But I will be telling you the differences in the Audi Q3 display and this display, and that is, in the Audi Q3, whenever you open anything, like for example if you open car settings, so over in the Q3, if you had any other additional menu, it would have been given in the borders over here. But in this car, you have borders that have been given over here. That means if you have any additional menu in this car, you have to press these borders over here. And how you do that is through these 2 buttons over here, this one and this one. So as you can see, over on this side we have 1 border over here. So if I want to check out what this border does, all I have to do is just press this button, and as you can see, it gives me additional menus over here and I can go back. Similarly, if I had any other additional menu, it would have been given over here. So if you see any other red button over on this side, just press this button and it will open right up. So that was about this display. But anyways, if you have any other doubt or you want a detailed review of this display right here, definitely check out my Q3 video that I've done down below. But by far one of my favorite features of this car has to do with the ambient lighting. Yes, this car gets ambient lighting, but it has been turned off right now, so that's why you can't see it. But you could go into car settings and then go down to background lighting, and then as you can see, it's been turned off. Then go to its brightest setting and press OK. and then as you can see, it gives us this blue color over here, and that too integrated with the dashboard so very well over here on the footwell over here. It looks so beautiful. But you can also change the color. Obviously it's not just a blue color. Go into background settings again, and then you can see this border right here. Well, just press this button, as you can see, then gives us these 4 options. So if I go into front colors, I can change whatever color I want, like for example red. As you can see, everything has been turned red now, and then change it to any other color as well. So you get a total of 10 colors in this car. So you get 10 ambient lighting colors of this car. But by far one of my favorite things is how well they have integrated it inside this dashboard. As you can see, even the Quattro lights up, and if I change the color, the Quattro also changes its color. It's so beautiful, and that's just Audi engineering. It's so good. So starting with the practicality, I'm going to start with the glove box in this car. As you can see, once I open it, it is a fairly large glove box. You can definitely get a lot of stuff stored over here, but for organization we have a pen/pencil holder over here, we have a card holder over here, and then over on this side, as you can see, we also have some options for the infotainment display of this car, such as for CD and 2 SD cards. So that's also a big plus point. But moving to the center console, you have a storage cubby over here, preferably for keeping your phone. But behind that we have 2 cup holders, which can also be adjusted like so. And now this one is bigger and that one is smaller, and similarly you can do it on the other side as well. But you can just remove this altogether as well. It does take a lot of force, but then you can use this as a full-blown storage cubby as well. Then we have the armrest of this car, which can be adjusted, as you can see, and then you can adjust the height as well, as you can see, at whatever height you want. But then you can totally open it, and then you have this storage cubby, which is very large. You also have a USB port and an aux port over here, which is for the infotainment display. The front door pockets of this car are also very large. You can easily keep a lot of stuff over here. The rear door pockets of this car are also very large. As you can see, you can easily keep a lot of stuff over here. But the weirdest thing in this car is that you do not get seat pockets over here, nor on the other side. But where you do get a storage cubby is over on the center tunnel over here, and you can keep your phone over here. But then again, it's very small. As you can see, it can only fit my fingers. But the armrest of this car, which also acts as the middle seat, reveals 2 cup holders which can be opened like so. Now coming to one of the most important parts of our practicality session, that has to do with the trunk. Now to open this trunk we have 2 ways. First is on the key fob, and you just have to press and hold this button and the trunk opens. And second is a request sensor that is given over here. So once you open this trunk, you can see that we have a very large trunk in this car. You can easily keep 4-5 bags in this car and go on a long road trip without any problem. You also have lighting in this car, which is nice. We have 2 hooks given on this side, and on the other side you can hang grocery bags as well. Now the cargo tray of this car can also be unhooked like this and like this. Then you can keep this down and keep some things over here as well. So organization in this trunk is also very nice. But by far one of the best things is that, for example, God forbid something happens to the tire and you have to change it, all you need to do is just do it like this, and then you have automatic stands which are given on this side and on the other side, so that this plate stays up and you can easily work and change the tire of your car. It's now time to talk about the comfort of the Audi Q2. Well, as you can see, I'm sitting in the driver's side seat of this car, and first of all, the one thing that I'd like to tell in this car is that the seats are fabric upholstery, but that's in the premium plus 2, that is this car. If you get the technology variant, that is the top tier of this car, you will get leather seats, but in this car and all the segments below this, you get fabric seats. So definitely do keep this in mind, that you will need to get seat covers for your car. But even these fabric seats, as you can see, are very soft. I mean, I really get gripped into my seat really well. They're very soft. I get plush amount of support here and there, so which is very nice. Going for a long road trip, I don't think it's going to be any kind of problem. It's obviously the front seat, so I can change the height of the front seat like so. I can adjust the backrest, but this is something that is not good, and that is it's manual, but not even manual in that spring thing that when you pull it up, the seat already comes forward. You actually have to rotate a dial and you can adjust the backrest in this car, which is something that is very tedious. But other than that, you also get some manual controls for moving the seat back and forth, like so. So just one thing to take away, that you always get manual controls in this Premium Plus too. But other than that, it's quite comfortable. Even for the driver, you can adjust the steering wheel however you like in all 4 directions, so that's pretty nice as well. Going on a long road trip in the Audi Q2 is not going to be a really big problem. But let's see what the story is in the rear side, because that's where your family will be sitting. So coming to the rear seat in the Audi Q2, I am pretty tall, I'm 6 feet 1. Still coming in the rear seat, as you can see, I have about 3.5 inches of legroom available to me, which is very nice as I'm pretty tall. Talking about headroom, I have about 2.5 inches of headroom available with me as well. So this car is pretty spacious, there's no doubt about that. And the seat material is obviously the same as the front ones. You get fabric seats even in the rear. They are very plush, soft, but then again you will need to get seat covers even for the rear seat. But then now let's move on to the middle seat in this car and see what the story is over here. And I would like to say that the transmission tunnel in this car is pretty high, so definitely you're gonna have to keep one leg this side and the other leg on this side. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. But the seat material, even in the middle seat, is very nice. I mean, a lot of cars do this, that the side seats are very soft, but the middle seat is a little bit harder. But not in this car, it's very soft even in the middle seat. So going on a long road trip in the Audi Q2, even if you're in the rear seats, it's not a big deal and you can easily go in a comfortable ride in your Audi Q2. Alright, so behind the wheel of the Audi Q2, first of all, I'd like to talk about the steering feel, because the steering feel in this car is so light. I can actually move it with my one finger. I mean, this is something that is there in just luxury cars, and that is just something amazing. But if we talk about some other things such as visibility in this car, as I'm taking a turn right now, the A pillar, the B pillar in this car are of very normal size, I would say, and you can easily have a lot of visibility here and there. The ORVMs, the IRVM, all of them are of decent size. You can easily see everything around you. This virtual cockpit is just such a phenomenal thing to see while you're driving the car. You have a bunch of different things in front of you, which give you a lot of information while you're driving this car. If we talk about the performance figures of this car, under the hood of this car we get a 2-liter turbo petrol engine. Obviously now diesel engines is something that Audi does not produce, but this 2-liter turbo petrol engine is capable of producing 190 horsepower, which is one of the highest in this segment, I would say, and it has a torque of 320 Newton meters. So given that this is a family car, it's a plenty large number power, I would say. You can easily just put down your foot and this car would just go flying by. The 0 to 100 speed of this car is just 6.5 seconds. Once again, it's a family car, you don't require that much of a speed, but then again, just that this car has the capability of doing that, that's what makes this car such a good car. Now this car also has a manual mode, so if I just press any paddle shifter, it would automatically put the car into manual mode, and then on the virtual cockpit you can see that it is on M1 rather than D1. That was the automatic mode of this car. Just cruising down the road in this car, you don't feel that there is any kind of rattles here and there. It's a premiumly built car. Right, so now that we're on a little bit of a clear road, so if I give this car full gas, oh my god, this car just goes flying by. Like I said, 0 to 100 in just 6.5 seconds. That's something that not a lot of even performance cars can do. And just pressing the foot down, you can see that my head just goes back in this car. That's the amount of throttle response that this car has, and it's literally just blown my mind away. If you are a type of a person who has a family and also does like to do a little bit of spirited driving, the Audi Q2 is the car that you should get. It is just amazing in terms of performance. Like you just saw that we just went over a little bit of a bump right now, and that bump is something that this car absorbed really well. So going for a city drive in this car, going for a highway drive in this car, you are not going to have any kind of problem while you're driving the Audi Q2. Now, time to talk about the pricing of the brand new Audi Q2. You will be able to see an Excel sheet of all the ex-showroom prices of all the variants of this car on your screens right now. The discounts and the registration cost depend on each state and the dealer you buy the car from. That is why you will have to contact your nearest dealer regarding that. If you're interested to buy this car or any Audi car from Audi Chandigarh, you can contact them using the links in the description below. And so, that was a review of the brand new 2020 Audi Q2. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about this video. Share this video as much as you can, and a subscribe would be really helpful to me and our channel. That was all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.